Welcome to the show. I am your host, Tiara Jasmine Fielding, and you're listening to Broadway Babe 2000. Hey guys, what's up? I'm so excited to have a special episode tonight. As always, we're going to talk about all things Broadway, because what else would we do on the Broadway Babe 2000 podcast? But I'm super excited to have two really special guests with me tonight. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, what's up? My name's Connor Brown. I live across the hall from Tiara. I'm a politics human rights major with a theater minor. We're living. And I've got a sketch team that I'm in. You know, Dead Rabbits here in the New York area. Check us out.
And if you hear that accent, Connor, where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina, Tiara. I get it.
Connor just spilled his McDonald's on my floor. It's
okay. We can say
okay.
that we're going to be spilling the tea.
We're going to be spilling the tea. And also, I have another friend with me. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Hope. I am from San Francisco, California, and I'm currently in New York majoring in musical theater.
Woo woo. We love musical theater boys. We also love political science boys that have interest in theater. Did you know Connor Brown was a newsie in high school?
I was not. I was burnt in Mary Poppins, Tiara.
Still a really, really good role, though. Still a really good role.
Drew has some really good roles under his belt, too. Let's talk about what's your favorite role that you've been in so far?
My favorite role that I've played so far, I would have to say, is Michael in Billy Elliot. It came at such an important time in my life, and just coming to terms with like who I was in terms of like self-identity at the age of 12 was really, really important to me. And that role just happened to come into my life at the right time. And just Billy Elliot was such a phenomenal show as a whole. I love the score, I love the music, I love the dancing, and just yeah, it was such a great show to do at the age of 12, and I still consider it one of my favorite shows up to till today.
Today? That's awesome. Connor, what about you?
Okay. Story time. I'm in...
Give us the tea.
I will give it. Okay. I was in a youth theater back home, and it being a youth theater, there's not a lot of dudes, right? So we had a production of Legally Blonde that we were doing, and my director was like, okay, Connor, you know, we love you, but, you know, you're not going to be Emmett.
Oh my God, how dare they?
It's okay.
Not even called back.
You're great, you know, Warner, not that either.
Wait, did they give you Kevin?
Kyle? So this is what they did. Okay?
No, they gave him Sundeep.
So I was every dude in the show except for Sundeep,
Dum-Dum,
and Professor Callahan. So I was
God,
Kyle, and I was Dewey. It was really fun. It was, you know, it's not really deep. We're not getting into like it wasn't like special.
Can you give us a little sample of one of the solos from Legally Blonde, the hit musical?
So I can give you one of my favorite lines.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready for this.
So I've got a package from Miss Paulette Bonafonte, and then I would like strut around in my short shorts. It was really fun.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm dead. You know, I was Paulette Connor.
Don't look at me like that, Tiara. This is a podcast.
So if you guys had one dream role, what would be the ultimate thing for you to like perform in, whether it's at school or Broadway, you know, because Broadway are bust.
Evan and Dear Evan Hansen has always been one of my favorite shows. One of my, like, favorite shows, like, still up till today, just because of the message that it portrays, and it's so important to talk about mental health.
For those who are out there that don't know what Dear Evan Hansen is about, can you explain for us?
Dear Evan Hansen is about a high school boy named Evan. He's currently in his senior year of high school, and he has really, really bad social anxiety, and it's really a coming-of-age story in which he's trying to find his moral compass at the moment, and he goes through many, many trivial times throughout the show, and I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a phenomenal show that has so many great messages for its audiences.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Dear Evan Hansen also. Funny enough, Drew and I are going to try to rush the show tomorrow morning, so wish us luck. We want to see the one and only Jordan Fischer, who we're going to talk about a little later in the show. He's a cutie patootie.
Living Maddie's star.
He is. So, Connor, what's your ultimate Broadway dream role, or like just a role to play in general?
Okay, so Broadway, you know, I like comedies a lot, but one thing that I loved last season, and it's like my most favorite musical of all time, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
So, yeah. So the dark and gritty, like, reinterpretation of that show, I would love to like be a part of that or something like that, because I like the idea of treating old musicals like people treat Shakespeare, where they just pick it apart, do the text, and they put it in different scenarios that gives it new meaning. So,
and it's funny because when we went to Broadway Flea, I went to Broadway Flea with some girls that live on my floor, and Connor couldn't make it. So we knew we had to bring him back something. We just happened to pass by the Circle in the Square, like, little booth they had, and we just happened to see a little, like, drink cozy signed.
Yeah.
Signed by one of the cast members, and Damon, who plays
Curly,
which is the lead
in
Oklahoma. So we said we need to bring it back to Connor Brown, and you were very surprised, right?
I loved it. It was a great gift. It's sitting in my drawer. We're keeping it nice and like
nice and clean.
Nice and clean. Like protecting it.
Kept away.
It's in a little bag. I'm gonna put it on a plaque. Probably gonna frame it. Who knows?
Frame it next to a picture of me.
Tiara, again, this is a podcast. Keep it professional.
It's all love here. I think it's so funny that I have Connor right across the floor from me, because whenever I come up the elevator, he's just poking his head out, and he says it's because I slammed the door really loudly.
Yeah, okay, so people on my floor, always loud. It's annoying. But really, it's just because I get bored.
Wow,
I get bored. Okay?
It's because he has nothing else to do.
Okay, excuse me. I have friends.
I have friends.
I go and do things.
I know you do.
But when I'm at home...
Connor is a hard worker. He works for Today Ticks.
I am a Today Ticks boy. Today Ticks, please support this podcast.
I actually do say to my viewers, like, when I talk about the deals going on, that Today Ticks is always a great last-minute option, and that I am not affiliated with them, but, like...
This month's show... Moulin Rouge. Go buy some tickets. It's this month's show. You can get a special deal.
If only you guys could see, Connor's wearing the Today Ticks sweatshirt. I'll make sure to put it on my Instagram. Don't you fret.
We'll make sure.
Don't you fret.
Monsieur Marius.
We just know each other too well, Drew.
We do, and it's
like we finish each other's
sandwiches, sentences.
That's what I was going to say.
I said sandwiches.
Wow, Connor. We appreciate your laugh. That was so genuine.
I love Frozen.
Speaking of Frozen, Ryan McCartan will be taking over the role of Hans in Frozen the musical. He's
Cameron's ex-fiance, Liv and Maddie child star.
That's the tea.
It is.
Also, Jimmy Award winner.
Jimmy Award winning Ryan McCartan.
The Jimmies! You can't see me, guys, but my hands went up in like a sarcastic way.
He did jazz hands, Theater always.
He was actually a Jimmy Award nominee in the 2014 year.
He won.
No,
me.
Connor Brown.
I was a 2014 Jimmy Award nominee. You know this?
Oh.
No, he's in the medley, if you actually checked.
Oh, medley number 7?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I saw that. Perfect. You were the fiddler.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my god.
She already knew.
Right, it was like one of my favorite roles, but I have to say Kyle was just more fulfilling.
Kyle. So, when you were in Legally Blonde, did they make you carry the box?
Okay, so...
So, like UPS man?
I don't know how I can describe this on the podcast, but let's just paint a picture for our listeners, okay? So imagine I swing across the stage. I have this very long box. And when I say my line, I've got a package from Ms. Paulette Bonifante. I hold the package in a certain way.
You delivered that line so beautifully.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I hold the package in a certain way as to make it look like a body part that only males have. So it was suggestive, but it was quite funny, quite comical.
And how old were you?
I was 17.
14.
I was 17. It was last
I
year.
was 12 years old.
12 years old, everything that used to...
Or...
Do you guys not know 13?
No, okay.
Oh, no, I know, but I was actually about
we
a
do
reference...
not talk about 13.
But I was actually about to reference the... I'm 17 and I...
What?
I'm 17 and I moved here today.
Oh, Mean Girls?
Miss Saigon!
Oh.
You are
Oh
dumb.
my God.
I knew Miss Saigon.
Broadway Babe.
We're calling out Broadway, Babe.
Babe.
I'm not even a theater major.
Wait, speaking of Mean Girls on Broadway,
I'm 16.
the tea is that Barrett Wilbert Weed is officially leaving the show when Kate Rockwell and Gray Hansen are leaving the show all on March 8th together the day before my birthday. a guy from Frozen. His name is not ringing a bell right now, but he is joining the cast of... He's playing Olaf in Frozen currently. He's joining the cast as Damien. And a girl who's the standby for Janice in Mean Girls is going to be
Taking
the
over
new
the role.
Janice.
Honestly, the tea, it is time. Barrett has been neglecting her duties, man. I hear some stuff about my girl Barrett, but we love her. But, you know, maybe it's time for her to go on to something that she finds more fulfilling.
Oh my god. In all seriousness, we do have to give props to Barrett because she has killed it for a long time.
No, she
I
most
mean, the
definitely
amount
has.
of vocal work she has had, the amount of vocal stress she has had on her voice playing that role.
And Heather's?
Heather's, that was absolutely crazy. I mean,
Most definitely.
she has some really good training from Elon.
We love North Carolina.
We love.
We do.
What's their mascot?
I have no idea.
I was telling Drew before that when I went to school in North Carolina that I saw Sweeney Todd at Elon and I thought it was so amazing. And a boy, Jake David Smith, shout out to him. He'll probably never listen to this, but he's now in the ensemble of Frozen, the musical, and is the understudy for Hans.
Love that. We love to hear it.
So I thought it was so amazing when I saw him,
Right.
and I just think it's so, like, full circle.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And just, like, tying back into Mean Girls, just, like, that whole entire original Broadway cast as a whole, like, has just done such a phenomenal job during their run. And their contracts have been lasting for quite a while now.
Yeah, they've been on for, like, 2.5 years now.
And it's just so amazing just to see the consistency. Yeah.
2.5.
It's
been
like,
a while.
it's been a long time.
We should phone Robert. Robert, if you're listening.
Oh, yeah, no.
Just shoot us a text.
Robert Knight. Shout out to Robert Knight, our
Knight.
Mean
Mean
Girls
Girls fanatic.
Mean Girls fanfic.
He's meant to play Damien. It is his...
Oh, no. We already know. Like, he's going to show up to the next open call. I'm going to make sure of it. I'm a stage mom.
I'm gonna show up to be Katie's mom.
My mama used to say...
I'm going to audition to be
Or
a lunch
Gretchen.
table. You know, I could be a lunch table or a tray.
Oh, you could be the tray because the red
I'm red.
sweatshirt.
Right, no.
Exactly.
He's
Thank
wearing the red today,
Yeah,
take
oh,
And I
sweatshirt.
can be the burn book because I'm wearing the pink.
Oh, pink
Wow.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
I could be Gretchen because I got the curly hair and I'm Jewish.
Okay, give them a sample. Give them a sample.
We love being able to tell
Okay,
the audio
but give them a
listeners
sample.
what we look like.
All right, Miss Broadway babe, give them a sample of Gretchen.
Okay, like give me the line before it.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, Regina. No.
Yes, Regina, no, Regina. Every waking hour, I spend making sure Regina George can stay in power. If Regina is the sun,
What?
then I'm a disco ball, cause it's just as bright and fun. If you've had alcohol.
All right.
I think I went like a little tone deaf towards the end of that. I'm so sorry.
But
it's
also keep
like
in mind she's had vocal
11:45
training.
at night.
Today's been a long day.
Today's been a long day.
So speaking of this morning, Drew and I went to Soul Cycle. So I've been going to Soul Cycle for a long time, and I go to this specific teacher called Matt, and he's a great guy, Matt.
Shout out to
Matt. I love him so much. And he always makes the class really motivational because he like screams my name, which makes me keep going in a sense.
Tiara!
Yeah, he's like, yes, T. Work
No,
it.
with his
Put
little
that
mic.
booty back. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, no, he had come to me today to fix my form.
Yeah.
My form was messed up.
But,
Is that what led to the event?
so basically, we'll say what this event is. So, we were riding the bike. This was Drew's first time coming to Soul Cycle. And I go, Drew, like, let me know if you need anything. Like, if you don't feel good, just sit down on the bike. Halfway through the class, I look to the left, and Drew has his, like, cheeks puffed up. Like,
With
you
my
know,
towel on
with
top
his
of my
with
face.
his towel on top of his face. And you know the look somebody makes when like they're nauseous and about to throw up? Like
Yeah.
he like literally went like a puffer fish and was like I just made the face even though you guys can't see me.
And she saw me open up my water bottle and yak into it. And then
Yeah, he
afterwards,
threw up into the water bottle and I go, Drew, go to the I'm like, are you good?
Should I give the listeners a little yak sound?
No,
Yeah.
So Drew's just chilling, you know? He's like, oh my god.
Okay,
let's work out, let's work
writing.
out.
I'm sweating.
What? What's that in my stomach? Is that?
Oh my god, what a reenactment that was.
Okay, awesome.
That's like Tony Award winning.
Right.
Best yak.
So, kind of
Me.
just earned your BFA on the
Connor.
spot.
Thank you. For those that don't know, I'm auditioning at the end of February, so send all your love and support to Broadway Babe 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
put in the little...
I'm going to be at the same audition, so it's going to be a fun time.
Really?
Yeah.
The 22nd?
For MT and acting.
Oh, yeah.
We love.
But shout out to Matt, though. I really enjoyed your class. Phenomenal job. Thank you so much for your motivation. I'm coming back next Tuesday, man. And yeah, Tiara and I will be riding into the sun. You already know it.
Okay, you got to explain Soul Cycle to me. I don't want to get off topic, but look.
You're just getting bites.
I don't understand Soul Cycle. What is the point?
Okay, so basically...
We have bikes here at school.
You're riding to the rhythm, and it's just nice because you have the coach in front of you. So, like, you really do feel like a team, and then you see everybody's, like, heads bobbing back and forth together. And it's just like, 1, 2, 1, 2. And, like, they'll call you out when you're, like, messing up in, like, a nice way. And
so,
then you'll
sponsored?
get not sponsored. Not sponsored.
I
mean, if Soul Cycle wants to sponsor me, like, I guess I'll take their like
contact her
at BroadwayBabe 2000 on Instagram or at Tiara Jasmine Fielding. I'll let you guys plug yourselves at the end of this podcast.
Phenomenal.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
As we all know, there's always amazing things going on in the Broadway world. And before we hit on Jordan Fischer a little, but let's talk about him. So, Jordan Fischer, he is known from Dancing with the Stars. He is going to be in To All the Boys I Loved Before. P.S. I Love You.
Livin' Maddie?
Livin' Maddie.
Livin' Maddie.
One of Connor's favorites. Go check it out if you don't know what it is.
Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus.
He was in Hamilton.
He was in Hamilton.
Was.
Correct.
Forget about that. He sang with Lin-Manuel Miranda for the pop cover of You're Welcome for the Disney hit Moana.
Yes, sir.
So, talent.
The more you know.
The more you know, exactly.
But he is now playing Evan Hansen in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. As I said before, Drew and I are going to try to get rush tickets to see him tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the video of him passing the polo with...
Oh, yeah, with Andrew.
I was there that night.
That was awesome. Was it cool being there?
It was such an amazing experience, and just... I can't even just, like, start from the top. Just that was one of the most emotional performances ever that I was at for any show, because I was never there for a final performance for any Broadway actor before, and seeing Andrew Feldman just pass on that polo was just so, I don't know, it was real because he's the actual age of the character. Right. Exactly, and that's what I loved most about Andrew, was because he was a teen going through what Evan was going through, and
like, even worse, in his own real life, nobody had known that his mother passed away halfway through his run.
Yeah, which is insane. And like, okay, just side tangent. When Broadway actors are able to go through traumas like this and still perform, I do not know what the lady's name is who is in Hamilton. And she
has cancer. And
she playing Angelica. She was the original in the Heights.
Mandy Gonzalez.
Mandy Gonzalez. Thank you, Drew. Hope we love you. Shout out Mandy Gonzalez, a queen, and shout out Andrew, a true king. And it seems like an end of an era with Dear Evan Hansen, and almost like a shift. I don't want them to go into the realm of like stunt casting, but I feel like Jordan Fischer is like a safe little bet.
No, Jordan Fischer is a talent, and I'm very, very happy with the casting choices, because definitely I've definitely seen a trend with the Evans over the years that a lot of the Evans do tend to
Get a little stunny.
Stunny, and also they're played by traditionally older guys. True. and it's hard to relate yourself to a show when,
and by older we mean like 25-year-olds.
Exactly.
There are no 80-year-old
there are
Evans
no 40-year-old men playing the role of Evan, but it's just when we go to see shows as young adults, we try to find characters and messages in the show that relate to us, and it's so hard sometimes when you are really, really trying to place yourself in their shoes, but you really can't. It's because, for example, I love Ben Platt, I love Michael Lee Brown, I love every single Evan that's ever...
Noah Galvin, Taylor Trench.
Exactly, I love every single Evan that's been able to play the role, but nobody has played it as honestly and as wonderfully as Andrew has.
And just like the mental capacity, people outside of the theater world, especially actors, never realize how much like it really takes from the person to put on a performance. Evan is very demanding. I mean, he's sweating, he's spitting, he's crying hysterically, having a panic attack during the show. Like, he's supposed to do that. And somebody that is going through something like a major death in their family, trying to find out where they're going to college. I mean, Andrew's going to Harvard. He has a very bright future for himself. Like, that's something amazing that he was able to deal with, because Dear Evan Hansen does touch on things such as like parent relationships, and there's a really emotional song that the mother sings to him.
So Big, So Small.
So Big, So Small, and she talks about going away and that she's never gonna leave him, and
Can't even imagine.
and like
Imagine.
his mom like was literally
Gone.
going through stuff and then passed away, unfortunately. And he had to hear that every night, and he kept doing it. And, like, I believe that his mom wanted him to keep doing it. I don't know him personally, but, like, my prayers go out to him. And just the capacity it took from him to do that, like, bravo to him. Like, that's what it takes to be a true star.
Yes. Claps for
Andrew Feldman. Congratulations on a phenomenal run.
Yes. And now, you know, we've gone through a little deep moment. Okay. We love you, Andrew. We love all the Broadway performers.
Let's
Mandy,
put smiley face
shout out.
on.
Let's, get to some more positive stuff.
Okay, so we were talking about stunt casting.
Okay.
Yes, we were.
All right.
So, you know what the funny thing is? We were talking about Mean Girls before. Cameron Dallas. So we spoke about this on a previous episode, how Cameron Dallas was going to be in Mean Girls on Broadway. He's taking over for 4 weeks while Kyle Selig is on vacation, and he's playing Aaron Samuels. So, like, I'm just going to be straight up.
Trash.
There's some...
I'm sorry. We're about positivity here.
We're about positivity. There are some voice memos floating around of Cameron, and it is a little questionable. I mean, he's trying his best, and good for him for going out there. And it takes a lot of balls to stand out there and...
Do your craft.
Like, do your craft. Put your voice out there. And he knows, like, he's not, like, top tier. Like, he's very thankful. He always puts on his Instagram story, like, I'm super thankful. Like, this cast is crazy talented. Like, I don't know how I'm here with them. And... it's nice to see that he appreciates, like, how he earned his spot, kind of. Because it is, I believe, stunt casting.
For sure. No, and it's like, I don't want to be hypocritical or anything, because I like to, spout off a little opinion here and there.
Tina Fey.
But what I'm saying is, I'm sure that, all of us here would love to be able to perform at some point one day. And it's really, you can't imagine how hard it would be to be able to do a role 8 times a week. To push yourself, even in a light role like Kyle. Somebody that comes from, like, the internet and Vine and, like, MagCon. It's just very interesting to see how careers go.
It is, most definitely. And it's also very, very scary. It's because, like, of course we don't want to see this become the future of Broadway.
And we don't want to see, like, this person fail also in the first place. Like, we want them to be successful. But there's so many people out there that are training and going to school for theater that have, like, worked their whole lives for this that never get the opportunity or, like, keep trying. And it's just, like...
And it's, like, Mean Girls is, like, not selling bad. Like, they're not...
It's not at all.
The ticket sales have not gone down. They're doing, like, better than fine, So, I guess the point isn't really that... It is stunt casting to garner tickets, maybe. But it may have been that, like, who knows? He may have reached out to them and asked, like, is there something going on? It may have not gone the other way, and Mean Girls was like, well, we can always give Kyle a vacation.
I mean, you never really know, because Cameron Dallas did release a song, which I sampled on a previous episode in, like, 2018, and it was interesting. I mean, he did struggle a lot with, like... He basically, on his Instagram story, said that he was a drug addict and a sex addict at one point in his life. Wow. And he's overcome that, so claps to him for that.
Claps.
And it's amazing, because it takes a lot of courage to really work yourself up to be very, very vulnerable enough to admit that. And he did, but I do believe that his correct route is being an internet social influencer, and it should stay that way.
I mean, he has over 22 million Instagram followers, so obviously he has some influence. I mean, 13-year-old me would be flipping out, because I am more mature now, and my crush on Cameron Dallas has died down as I've grown older, because he hasn't been of my interest as such musical theater stars have been, that it's just like, it's like cool, like, if I go to see it, I go to see it, but like, if I don't, it's not going to be the end of the world, kind of. Like when Brendan Urie was in Kinky Boots, I had to go see that, and I had to get backstage.
And that's good stunt casting in a way, because it's something that isn't trying to take away from the art of musical theater.
And, like, he is a very talented... Like, Brendan Urie killed that.
Oh, my gosh.
Soul of a Man,
was amazing.
Oof.
I want to pivot real quick, because I think this is... I have an interesting idea, and I don't want to jump the gun.
Okay.
But we're talking about stunt casting, right? You know, we have news this week. Jeremy Jordan is coming to Little Shop.
Yes.
So, do you think it's possible for Broadway stars to be stunt casted in certain roles later in a show's run for the sole purpose of boosting ticket sales? I'm not familiar with how Little Shop has been selling since my boy Groff Sauce has left.
Groff Sauce.
But
Husband, Broadway Bay of the Week.
But, you know, I love Jeremy. Who doesn't love Jeremy? Uber talented. But it just kind of seems... I'm happy. It just kind of seems weird. Kind of seems odd.
Well, like, Little Shop of Horrors was going to be a limited run for, let's say, like, 7 months, I think it was supposed to be. Then they extended the run till the end of March with Gideon Glick.
Right.
Once Jonathan was supposed to leave. Gideon is a very talented actor. He did Spring Awakening with Jonathan Groff, and he just did To Kill a Mockingbird. He's, like, such a cutie, so
Shout out our
iconic.
plays. We exist, too, on Broadway. Shout out the plays.
Shout out to the plays.
Shout out to the plays, exactly.
And Gideon is very talented. I think he is extremely cute, along with Jonathan Groff. And the tea with Jeremy Jordan, people think he's too attractive to play Seymour.
You know what? I can see it. But so is Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff is they're all so attractive.
It's not hard.
Very, very attractive.
And their talent makes them so much more attractive.
The thing is with Seymour and the way that they're doing it now, it's like campy, you know? It's not meant to be taken seriously. So they put glasses on him and they say, oh, he's goofy.
Like, basically, the hat and the glasses basically really make Seymour, and the button-up shirt and the vest.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's so funny because I was lucky enough to see Jonathan Groff in his last week of Little Shop of Horrors.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Thanks, Mom. Love you. And I really want to see Jeremy Jordan because I'm literally in love with him. And it's funny because when people were tweeting about it on Twitter that he's way too attractive to play the role of Seymour, obviously he could hit the notes just fine. He's got range for days. He got acting skills for days. He can move that booty. Supergirl. Oh my God, I loved him in Supergirl.
Toy Man? He came back. It was pretty cool.
Oh my God, stop. He just came back in like the last episode.
He did.
Stop. Okay, we need to watch it later. Fangirling right now. But Jeremy Jordan, people were saying on Twitter, like I said, that he's too hot. And he tweeted back at this article and was like, he basically sent out quote unquote ugly photos of himself where he still looked like really attractive to me. And he was like, how about now? This is my response.
How about now, Broadway world?
He was like, how about now? And I was like, you still hot. That's the tea. But I'm really excited, and I hope he has a great run.
Yeah, no, because a new block of tickets recently just went out as well for his run.
And now the show's extended until May, I think.
May?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
He's coming March 17th or something like that. March 17th, and he's leaving at the end of May. And
will Gideon start back, or will they close it?
No, I think that's when it's going to close. Unless they get another person.
Which, honestly, I
really would be surprised.
I honestly hope that happens, because I think this could become... It's not on Broadway, technically, but I feel like if this Little Shop run could last, it could be its own thing. It'd be really cool, because we have a lot of tourist musicals in town, and a lot of the really, really good musicals from that era don't get their due on the stage these days. So I would love to see, like, one of the all-time greatest Little Shop be able to have, like, I don't know, like their Chicago moment, or like even like a Waitress moment.
Exactly,
honestly.
And I would just really love to see like more classics start being revived again, because I feel like this is kind of a generation to really see those classics in a new light.
Okay, here's my pitch. Broadway producers, listen up.
I'm listening.
Are you ready?
Future
Okay.
Broadway producer in the house.
We know Hair. we know
Oh
hair.
my God, I'll be Gaga at the Go-Go.
Yes, ma'am.
We love Hair. I love Hair. Hair is one of my all-time favorite musicals. It's set in a really politically charged time of the end of the 1960s. Now, what if we don't change the basic aspects of Hair? We keep the songs, but we change some of the political references, like presidential names.
Is everybody still nude?
Yes, we keep the nudity.
Oh,
Nudity,
yes.
100%.
Most definitely.
Free the crotch. Anyways, in the highly political time that we live in now, where most of us don't support administration, don't want to create some tea or anything, don't want to make it political, but imagine a Hair set now with maybe, if we do younger actors, like 19, 20, we get some kids fresh out of college, and we...
So, like me? I could be in Hair.
You could be...
Crickets. After she said so me, we went...
I could be Aquarius soloist.
Oh.
When the moon...
Tiara?
Tiara?
Tiara.
Connor always says my name the funniest
Toddlers
ways.
and tiaras.
Toddlers and tiaras.
No, like he'll see me on... Sometimes I'll just see Connor on the street, like...
And I just be like, I go, here's my Tiara
I'll be like,
impression.
hi,
I'll be
Connor.
I'll be like, hi, Tiara, how are you doing?
I sound like that, but I don't.
Everybody spam Broadway Babe, be like, Tiara, how are you doing? It's great to see you.
He's like making fun
Fun
of
of
the
me,
vocal
we'll go
fry.
fry.
Vocal fry. No, it's just like, I would say it's the way that, like...
It's the Long Island inflection.
It's the Long Island inflection, but also you make your words, like, stand out a little bit when you're just like, it's the vocal fry.
But when I'm acting, I like have
Can
no
you turn it off?
accent.
Turn it off.
Turn
Turn off your accent.
it off.
Like, speak longer.
Okay. Connor Brown is a good friend of mine. I spoke to him the other day.
Oh.
You sound really weird.
It was like
You
weird.
sound like a Siri.
Well, I'm just like saying
Connor
random
Brown
things.
is a good friend of mine. I spoke to him the other day.
What?
If like they needed a person to be like Siri for like geography, Long Island, like I'm your gal.
Okay, I have
Hi guys, my name's Tiara.
Hi, my name is Tiara. You need to take a right here.
Tiara from Long Island.
Take a right into the 7-Eleven.
Into the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, just like straight.
Drive through the slushy machine.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, for sure.
JD.
Okay. Heathers?
Freeze your brain.
Linoleum? Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I am not as versed in Broadway. If there's someone here that is not as versed as everyone else, it is me. But I have a question.
the question?
We know, like, Bruce Springsteen comes to Broadway, has, like, a great run. They had another artist, was his name David Byrne in America's Utopia. What are your guys' thoughts on, like, artists and comedians having, like, almost like a residency at a theater in New York for a time? Do you like that, or do you wish that they would like leave the theaters open for more theater?
I think it's awesome to have diversity on Broadway and in the off-Broadway theaters. And I was lucky enough to see Freestyle Love Supreme, the Lin-Manuel Miranda. It was like a hip-hop, improv, musical show, basically. And it was a whole comedy. And I thought it was so interesting to see it because it's in the normal Broadway houses, and it just gives opportunity. And it was funny because when I walked in, they made me put my phone in this pouch that they locked. And they also did that for Dave Chappelle when he had a little like stint thingy on Broadway.
Because I'm sure they're taping it and they
Pete
don't want it to be
Davidson
seen.
does the same thing.
Right.
But I just think it's awesome to give opportunity to things that aren't just like plays or musicals. I think it's really cool when they have like one-night concerts going on, or like an event that takes place on the stage.
Or like when The Irishman premiered in the future Girl from the North Country Theater. What a fun time.
What a fun time.
Why that was weird.
Yeah.
Or like I think in March of this past year when Fosse Verdon came out, they did that in the Kinky Boots Theater.
It's just like how Radio City has a bunch of things coming to it. Like it has improv shows that come to it. They had Impractical Jokers. They had Ben Platt's concert. They have the Tony Awards. And they also have the Radio City Rockettes, which is like their main show for the year.
Right.
So there's so many events that happen, and I feel like that diversity brings all different types of people. And I think it's awesome when there's like a generic show that fits like a stereotype kind of, because it attracts those people. Like the band's visit attracted lots of people from like the area of where the band's visit took place,
Right.
and like Israel and another
See,
area.
When I'm really like, I like the whole diversity aspect, but like the artist in me sometimes is like, okay, we have Madison Square Garden for this, we have Radio City for this. Why don't they do these kind of week-long performances there so that a different show can like really take hold?
Well, sometimes I also think like I would agree. But other times, some of the shows that are on Broadway in the first place are like jukebox musicals.
Fair.
Or like based off of a movie. There's not many original things. I don't think there's like one original show this whole season.
Well, Diana is like more autobiographical.
Okay.
Diana's an original.
But it's not like somebody pulled that out of them.
Of course, most
fair.
definitely. But
Like if someone pulled something out of them, like we would have to say like Little Shop of Horrors or like something like that.
Hadestown
years
last
ago.
season.
Hadestown, which is like based off of like gods and stuff.
Well, see, there at this point we're getting into all art is almost like a repetition of something else. So now we're getting into this little period where we're like, oh, but this movie and that movie and whatever. And I think if we spend more time making things like a Beetlejuice rather than, and please don't hate me, internet, than a Mean Girls, where it's something that is like the same spirit of what the movie was, but watching the Beetlejuice movie and seeing the Beetlejuice musical are two totally different experiences.
And now they're having the Mean Girls musical
Movie, which I think is dumb.
in which I just believe that they'll probably just release the professional recording of the Broadway original cast.
They're not doing a pro shot. They confirmed that. They're not
okay.
doing a pro shot. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie.
And they're also doing that for Hamilton. But it's going to be a pro
shot.
shot
With Disney, which I am supporting it.
Which is actually not with one of the original cast members, because they said original Broadway cast, but they actually left out.
Okay, it's like an ensemble member that left early. She needs to relax. I'm sorry.
She
Breathe.
did leave early, but at the same time,
You can't say, I get that. Don't
I do
promote
have
it that
some-
way.
I read
for
the
her.
article. I have sympathy for her.
No,
but
of
like,
course, of
they're not
course.
just going to change the title.
Why don't they just rebrand it to Original
And it's
Principles?
like yeah.
Rebrand it
correct.
to Original Principles, because we love our ensemble members. I have
do,
been an
and we do.
ensemble
We
member.
appreciate them.
I've
We
done
see
it
you,
for
we hear
years.
you.
But
We've
the
all been
whole
ensemble members. We all like paid our dues.
the whole Disney
Drew's like no.
no,
I've never
Drew's like,
been
I'm too talented.
No,
if
no,
only you
just
guys
kidding.
could see. He's just like no, not me. Always leads.
But like the
No.
the businessman in me is like, oh, well, the only reason Disney's saying this is because I'm gonna say it. The majority of America is only going to be noticing or care about your lens, your David Diggs.
Groff sauce.
Right. They're only paying attention to those characters. They're not, or those performers. They're not really looking at the ensemble members as much as the Broadway community does. So I get that they're trying to market it in a way that's like, oh, you can finally see the original cast, and your one douchey friend can't be like, oh, I've seen it and you haven't. I mean, I have to, Andrew. I've done that, but like, I get the point.
Yeah, no, most definitely. It's just because it's like you do want to feel heard sometimes, and like it definitely feels like I wouldn't necessarily say like a slap in the face, but at the same time, like I do understand her standpoint, because she.
No, yeah, I totally get it. It is basically
complicated
original.
situation.
It's a complicated situation. I read the article myself, and it's just like, in a sense, things happen, and it's the principals from the original cast, and that's who the audience is looking for, if we're all going to be honest. Like Connor said, like, they're looking for Jonathan Groff, they're looking for Lynn.
Philippa Sue.
Yeah, they're
Shout her out.
they're looking for the principal roles, basically, that they could recognize, the people's voices that have solo lines.
Exactly, and like that's the reason why they bought the soundtracks to begin with. It's because they do love these artists.
And then the people that can't afford to go see Hamilton, the people that will mostly be seeing the movie in theaters, like, they listen to this soundtrack like it's their Bible.
Right.
So, like, they don't know the individual ensemble members' voices.
And we don't want to come off anyway as, like, insensitive to our ensemble members.
Because, like, we've been there.
No, it really is just, like, the fact of the corporations and how they're trying to market. A lot of the country is not so attuned to the Broadway market or the Broadway community, which is
it's
not
mostly, like,
not an
older
excuse.
people.
It's not an excuse.
It's either, like, older people that have money, or it's very young people
that don't.
And their parents, like, shell out for them, basically, in order for them to have opportunities.
And that's what I love about this community so much now. It's because it's a mixed relationship that I have, is because I definitely see that Broadway has definitely become more affordable over the ages in terms of, like, for example, like, Broadway HD is a platform now in which it has so many shows, like, for example, like, a show that falsettos and a show that I wasn't able to, like, access, like 42nd Street in London. Like, I wanted to see that so badly. And I'm very thankful because this platform has made Broadway accessible to so many people around the world now.
And even though prices are still extremely high,
I feel like we need to shout out our boy Jeremy O'Hara and Slave Play.
Jeremy O'Hara's.
Yeah.
Harris, my bad. I'm so sorry, kid.
He went for, like, Catherine O'Hara or Kelly.
I'm sorry.
Kelly O'Hara.
I'm sorry,
Kelly.
King. I gotta shout out my plays though. I love my plays. They need some more.
Shout out to Alex Brightman. Bought me those tickets for free.
We need
Love
those.
you.
We need the respect for our plays and our playwriters because they were able to keep their tickets solid and available. Were they orchestra seats? No. Did they need to be? No. As long as there are affordable seats all the way through a show's run.
And the
It is
rush
what it
tickets
is.
for Slave Play were first row, which is sick.
Which was amazing.
And I think we all saw Slave Play, right?
Yes, we did.
Amazing.
And let's just say, I've spoken about it multiple times. That show is not what you expect it will be. I thought I was going to go in and learn a history lesson. I definitely learned a lesson.
You learned a lesson.
You learned a lesson.
About
It was
history,
not
Tiara.
about history.
You came back with a whooping.
about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Oh, wow, Connor. That was, like, a
Whoa,
great
as you can
rendition.
see, like, he's a vocalist.
Thank you.
He really goes for those, like, Kyle-ish roles.
I go for the roles where I don't have solos.
Time just escapes when I'm having fun with my friends. And I love filming this podcast. They're definitely going to come back.
For sure.
And
Next week?
Next week,
week?
yeah.
Yeah, we're coming
Regular?
back.
We could discuss potential.
We'll
Regular?
discuss our
We could
union
dis-
contract.
I need a segment.
Equity.
I need a segment. I don't even want money. Give me
You,
Connor's
give me your
play corner.
give me your equity card.
I don't. Oh.
Oh, you don't have one? We're gonna have to talk about that.
Who can relate? Who has similar
Oh,
vibes?
Drew. Drew has his equity. Drew's
do.
equity.
We love Drew. The
EMC,
talent.
equity membership candidate.
Oh, so I need to pay you like extra to be on this?
Oh, no. No union
is this
dues.
the
No
non-equity
union
tour
dues.
of Bandstand?
No, guys. We do love non-ec tours, though. The talent is still there. We love you guys.
Wait, no, the talent is still there, but we don't appreciate your producers. Sorry, we love you.
Yeah, like pay them more. They were.
Yeah,
deserve it.
yeah,
They
most
deserve it. They
definitely.
deserve it.
I saw Elf national tour non-ec. Like the Elf slayed it. The girl who sang the little song about like the tights.
Yeah.
She killed it.
We love elves.
You know that song I'm talking about? She's like,
No, we don't.
oh,
Tiara,
she's
but,
like
you know.
men. She's basically saying straight men don't wear tights in the song, and I'm like, yeah, they do. Musical theater boys.
I've only seen like a really, really bad production of Elf in
Me
middle school.
too.
I don't
Me
remember
too.
it at all. I've never
The
seen it
movie's great.
professionally.
I saw it at
Love
it.
D-Pack
Oh, D-Pack.
during
High
performing
Point.
when I was at High Point.
High Point.
You know what that means? It's time to talk about the deals going on in the Broadway world.
Deals.
Deals. We want the money draining from our accounts. Just kidding. We want to keep our money. So, as I always say, Today Tix is a great last minute option. We got our man's
Tix.
Connor Brown.
Yep.
Do you
Give
want
me
to
a raise.
explain what Today Tix is to the
Okay.
viewers?
Today Tix is a wonderful
Not
app,
sponsored,
but I work for them, so it's okay. Today Tix is an app.
but like he doesn't have the power to give me a sponsorship. So like
So you get the app. It's called-
non-affiliated.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Can I? Okay. TodayTix is a wonderful app. You know, you go on the app, you can book tickets for months in advance or the night of. It's really great. It's cheaper. It's affordable. It's a great option. You order your tickets, and then somebody like me arrives 30 minutes before showtime at the theater, and we deliver the tickets to you. It's nice, easy, simple. You don't have to go to the box office, and you don't have to deal with dummies. So it's really great.
If you get TodayTix and you just see like a boy
In a beanie,
with like a little like mustache,
it's
With
me.
his little southern accent.
It's
with
me.
like his eyebrows waxed.
It's me. Shout me out. Say hey. You know, I'll take pictures. I'll sign autographs.
I'll give him a few of my autographs to hand out because I know that's what you guys want.
And I'll take tips. I'm very
She'll
open
sign
to
your
tips.
tickets.
I'll sign your tickets.
But we also do love a TKTS moment.
We do love a TKTS.
TKTS is an awesome
Not
option.
to cheat on my babies.
Go to the Red Steps.
The Red Steps.
Do you want to explain to the viewers what the Red Steps are?
The Red Steps in Times Square, you already know. Actually, isn't TodayTix right underneath them as well?
No, TodayTix is on an office.
It's on like 42nd.
You're so right. But TKTS is below the steps.
Yeah.
And they have
Last minute discount tickets right before the shows. It's really awesome. And sometimes there's scalpers that are standing right by them, and you have to be very protective. But one time I did get like $40 tickets for like third row orchestra seats for Book of Mormon for $40.
Oh, that's
from a
amazing.
scalper.
Eugene O'Neill. I love.
Yeah. So that was a really good deal that I got that day.
That's a great deal.
And Broadway week is this week, so use the code BWAYWK. So like BWAYWK. If you use that code on Ticketmaster, you get select shows have discounts, and it's really awesome. My mom recently bought tickets to Beetlejuice, and I couldn't make it because I had work. So she took my friend, and they had a great time. My mom loved Beetlejuice. So yeah. Do you guys have any closing messages before we sign off to the viewers?
Okay, I'm going to plug all the socials. You know, what up, Broadway Babe community? My name's Connor Brown. Connor with a K. Konnor.
How do you spell
Brown?
brown?
Brown, like the color, you know? Like without an E. Like BROWN.
Not brownie?
Not brownie. Brown.
Brown.
BRAWN. Braun.
BROWN.
Oh.
So my Instagram is just Connor Brown. My name, that's it. My Snapchat, if you guys want to hop on there, is my name with the number 1. Y'all can catch me on Tinder and Hinge. So all the ladies hit me up.
Next week, we're going to have a special bachelor
episode.
We're going to find Connor a girlfriend and me a boyfriend, just not each other.
Oh.
Wow.
All right,
The
Drew.
gagging noise goes back to you.
That was weak. That was really weak.
It's basically like we're in Shrek and doing like, you know that song?
I think I got you beat.
Right, but like, except... No.
No, like we don't end up falling in love in the end.
Yeah, right. So let's just... Drew?
All right. Well, my main Instagram platform, my main social media platform is Instagram, so you can find me at Drew H. Hope. Once again, Drew H. Hope, and I post like weekly, so yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. I love you guys so much. And if you have trouble finding their social medias, you could always go find it through my account because I follow them on both my Broadway Babe 2000 and Tiara Jasmine Fielding. So you could go in who I follow or who follows me, and you'll be able to find both of these lovely gentlemen.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Tonight we discussed so many great things. We spoke about Jeremy Jordan. We spoke about Jordan Fischer. All the Jordans.
Exactly.
We spoke about Cameron Dallas, Andrew Barth Feldman, a million topics. It was a really great episode. I want to thank my friends for being here with me to film this episode. It took a lot to get Connor in this room.
It did.
Okay, look.
Like, he volunteered to be on the podcast,
Yes.
but then, like, just to get we're all very busy people, just to get the time for the three of us to sit down and, like, actually talk it out. It took a lot. I just happened to be throwing out garbage, and then Connor was right next to the garbage can.
You know,
What a convenience.
She was at my home, you know, me and Oscar the Grouch were just chilling. It's fine. I was getting off of work, coming back from sketch. Busy day, busy
Just,
day.
like, crawling up the garbage chute.
Yes. The natural way to get to the 28th floor of the building.
But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go follow me at Broadway Babe 2000 to stay updated. listen to my latest episodes, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Boo, boo, boo. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Ah.
Peace.